Okay, so hey, what's up, guys? It's Instance here, and today I'm going to talk about two topics. I'm going to talk about the programming burnout, and I'm going to talk about the freshman feeling. But first, the freshman feeling. So, have you ever been programming and you have a problem you're trying to solve, and you look online on Stack Overflow to look how other people have solved that particular problem, and you're like, whoa, I have never thought about that. And you're just going to be like, it feels like everyone that programs on Stack Overflow or GitHub has their shit together, but you don't. And that's what's called the freshman feeling. You feel like, oh yeah, they all know exactly what they're talking about, but I don't know this. How could I have not noticed? You have like, for example, tuples in Python. And you're like, what's a tuple? And you learn about it while you're already programming in Python for like 3 years. So they have something they say, it's like comfortableness is the enemy. And that means that you should never be comfortable while you're programming. The technology is moving so fast, you should never feel comfortable. You're always learning new stuff, so whenever you're going to get comfortable with the freshman feeling, you will not feel like everyone has their shit together on other platforms like Stack Overflow or GitHub. And now you have the programming burnout. So let's say you're programming, 24/7, you're working on a project you don't even feel like you're not even interested in. And you're just working on that project 6 hours a day. Well, that's going to be really boring. Okay, you're going to feel like, wow, this is getting so boring. You're going to get worn out. Like after around 4 or 5 hours of programming, you're not going to you don't feel as focused anymore. And that's what's called the programming burnout, because if you're going to spend hours and hours weekly or even for months programming every day, sitting on your ass on your computer just programming, typing code, you're eventually going to get burned out. And that sucks, because you will despise programming almost. You're not going to feel like you want to program. And I have that too, I've been programming for some time now, like 3-4 years, and I have had times I could program 12 hours a day for 4 months straight. But then after that I couldn't even touch code for like 1 or 2 months. And that's normal, because you really shouldn't program that much. You should give yourself a break. You should go out and do something with your life. You should do some sports, watch some TV, play some games like I did today, what I'm commentating over right now. Sometimes you have to switch it up a little. I was programming every day and I didn't know anything about Photoshop. So what I did was I put programming away and I started photoshopping, and now I found a new passion of mine, and that is photoshopping. And it's a lot of fun to create little projects in Photoshop, and it really felt refreshing. After all that programming every single day, it really felt refreshing to do something else. And you should try that too, if you're getting sick of programming for like a week, because that happens, especially when you're working for a big corporation or a company and you have to solve their problems, and it's really hard and complex, and you're sitting on your ass 6 hours a day trying to solve your company's problems, and maybe even go home because programming is such a big hobby for you, and you're going home and you're going to work at your own projects. And I have done it too. I have spent the night up just programming, working on my projects, because that's such a big passion for mine. But eventually you're going to get burned out, and then you have to stop for a little while. You can always program, but sometimes you just have to switch it up a little, or maybe even take a break for like 1 or 2 weeks, because I do that too. And if you're not going to take those breaks, you're eventually not going to enjoy programming anymore. And you're going to hate the fact that you don't like programming anymore, because deep back there in your heart you still love programming. So that's what I did. I was programming for around 6-7 hours straight every day, maybe a little less, but I was also going to school every day. So 9 to 4 to school, and then after that I would program for around 5 hours, and then I would sleep, and I would wake up really early and maybe sleep like 6 hours. And eventually I got really tired and I didn't have any motivation for anything at all. So sometimes you just have to switch it up a little and do other things. And that's exactly what the freshman feeling, because sometimes you get that freshman feeling like you're new to something, and I already said it, but everyone has their shit together, everyone knows more than you, and you don't know anything about a certain topic, but you have been programming for like 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and you should know it, but you don't, because programming is such a broad, big topic. I learned stuff too, you know, I've been programming for 4 years and that ain't shit. I mean, some people have been programming for like 12, 13 years and they still come across things they didn't know yet. And that's really normal, and you shouldn't be too hard on yourself when you don't know what tuples are, or you discover new things that you didn't really know about. For example, some frameworks or some libraries. It's normal. And sometimes when you feel like you don't have a lot of motivation anymore to program, maybe change projects, because I was working on a Twitter bot, and that Twitter bot was really universal and I liked it, but I don't use Twitter a lot, so I don't really see the purpose of it. But I really wanted something for my portfolio to show to people, and just to have created something other people would use. And I'm still working on that project, but I got so burned out programming that project that I was like, hey, maybe I should do something else. And now I'm creating other projects and just thinking of other things, and then trying to switch it up a little, so not just focusing my time 3-4 hours a day working on one single specific project, but trying to switch it up a little and doing other stuff, and even working with Photoshop. And I have learned a lot about Photoshop. It's really fun. On this channel you're going to see some new Photoshop stuff. I'm going to post some tutorials, and also I've been really getting more into ethical hacking. I used to like it a lot when I was younger, but now I'm just really learning a lot more about it and reading some books about it, and it's really cool. So yeah, if you ever experience the freshman feeling, it's normal. Everyone has it. Even the people that work at big corporations or big companies, everyone has the freshman feelings. And the same for burnout, you know. Sometimes you just have to take a break, take a little vacation, you know. You just have to take 2 weeks off. So that's my advice to everyone who has ever experienced the freshman feeling or the burnout feeling while programming. You know, take a break, take it easy, and do something else, like play video games, watch TV, exercise, do those kind of things. And well, that was the video. Have a nice day, and peace out.